Hello everyone and welcome back to the KMTRADERS channel. We'll be looking at the full market analysis here. So going to be checking out all of our pairs, give you some insight, give you a look of our charts, and also some predictions as well. So again, I do hope this video does give you some value for the next trading week. Before we begin, we obviously do have a trading group that you can join. That link is in the description below, so go ahead and check it out. And if you have any other questions, feel free to message us on our Instagram or any of our platforms, guys. So without further ado, guys, we'll just start off with gold. So within the last week, we were looking for an either break to the downside or to the upside. So what we can see here, we do have something in the lines of a channel being respected. We're looking at this baseline wedge being potentially acting as a form of support, because as we can see, prices pushed to the downside but instantly absorbed back in. So had a nice boost from 1900, and could have been a nice possible point to buy if you did look at this zone as a buying point. So what we're looking at now is we need to see another execution point. So what we need to do now is just stay back and sit back and really see what happens in the market. So like I said, we will have two levels here, and we said this more or less last week, that we're either going to look for a push to the upside. If we do, wait for this retest of 1980, and then we could see a progression to the upside. And the other side, the flip side, would be to look for the reverse. So if we see price break 1900, ultimately we're waiting for that retest before the further progression to the downside, and I want to see at least 1860 being tested. This is obviously just one speculation, but with the mid of the last week, we can see this bullish momentum. This one candle here and this second one here, really does strike as a bullish momentum to me. So I'm kind of keeping cautious of any buying opportunities within this area. Again, I'm willing to take some losses just in case price does make that huge move to the upside. So I'm going to be looking for buying opportunities ultimately, but again, we need to look for more of the structure within the markets, and pay attention to the market sentiment, as of course it's hard to judge in a week's advance, but if we can find some strong momentum to the upside, your best bets would be to look at some buying opportunities. But vice versa, if they're selling, look for selling opportunities. But if you want to be more conservative, it's going to take more time if you're going to look for buying opportunities at 1980 or selling opportunities at 1900. Okay, guys. So pretty much, if that's all I'm looking at, if we do get a breakout to either side, I will give that update for you guys. So just stay aware and pay attention to any updates that we post. So moving now on to EURJPY, if I extend this wedge zone, sorry. So we came and had a break to the downside, had a nice push in. So I think we could be looking at some possibilities of pushing to the downside. Again, if we do look for any movements at all, it would be movement to the downside, break of 1.17, retest of this structure and push lower. Again, that's ultimately what I could be looking out for. Which is, if this does happen, or you could be looking at, if you want to play a bit more aggressive, is just wait for that retest of this lower wedge, and we could see price push lower. Another aspect is looking at this zone here. If price does manage to push up here into 1.195, I class this as a significant point in the market. We could find a possible push to the upside if we do get a break above, and market could fling to the upside. So just keeping both perspective, but if I were to choose a bias, it would be to the downside due to the RSI divergence, and there's pretty much a lot of stuff going off here. We've got a sideways moving market after an impulse, so I do believe the correction is in need. Again, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, we can always adjust. So that's why I'm always going to give you guys two options, just in case plan A doesn't work out. So New Zealand dollar to the US dollar, I'm looking at this as a bias to the upside. I'm looking out for any possible moves here. We can see we've had a fib rejection here. I believe we did. Yeah, nice pocket into 618. So that was roughly start of middle last week sort of thing. We can see how price has rejected that point now, so we could be looking at some nice buying opportunities as long as we can find this continued momentum. And we could be looking to target at 0.67800 or even to 0.6800. So this nice level here. So we could be looking at a conservative play here. So if we wait for price to move up to 0.672, wait for that retest, and then that progression to the upside. Again, guys, I can't stress this enough that this does require a lot of patience to take these conservative approaches, but they do pay off. So this is the concepts in the market that most people don't understand, that patience is actually the biggest discipline you need to work on in order to see some possible value in the markets, guys. So again, that's where my head's at with this pair. AUDUSD, I'm looking at this as a possible push to the upside, but I'm looking at this both ways as well, just staying cautious of this sell-off here. So pretty much I saw this momentum kick in. We had a nice fib rejection on the 0.786. Now for me, this is a bit of significant. It is part of my trading strategy that if we do see a nice fib retracement and a big momentum push, which we can see here, we could see momentum kick back up and possibly test the highs of 0.745, so around here, and could test one more high. And ultimately, I want to see how price responds to this level, because my main bias is towards the downside, but this is on a higher perspective. I'm not going to trade and not going to hold a sell now, because we could have a massive drawdown. I want to see evidence in the market first before I participate. Okay, guys, so that's where I'm looking out for. Now, if we do get a sell-off in the week and we do manage to come lower, I'm going to be looking at 0.71. Now, guys, this is pretty much a nice psych level for me. Has a nice respected level. If we go back in data, if you go back in time and check 0.71, there are some rejections around this level. I'm looking at this out. I'm looking out for this level if we do break lower. So, two options to play out for there, guys. Looking out for USDJPY. So I was actually quite disappointed with this pair. I was thinking that we could get a nice sell-off. I was expecting a big drop to the downside sooner or later. Again, we're looking at a sideways moving market on the intraday level and the lower time frames. All we're going to have to do is just wait for the price to make its clear move if we're going to move to the downside or to the upside. So pretty much we're just going to have to wait, and I probably will have to give you guys an update. But my bias is towards the downside, and I'll be wanting to see price goes to 104.2, even lower to 104 possibly. That's where my head's at with this pair. But again, I'm not going to be arrogant against any buying opportunities, because we're seeing some resistance. So if we do get a strong momentum candle to the upside, you could be looking at a nice possible conservative play here at 106.6, a nice psych level again here, and a respectable here, multiple supports to resistance, and again failure to hold on to this level. So we could see some key points being tested out here. Looking at EURJPY, my bias is towards the downside. Again, I've been looking out for this strong play, but looking at how last week performed, we did have this strong momentum to the upside. So I'm actually being curious and aware of how price plays in this zone here. So roughly at 127, wait for a retest on this level and see if we can get a momentum push to the upside. We could be in a wrong bias here. So I have been waiting for price to sell off for a long time, and this may not be the right bias. Maybe this could be pushing higher. So I'm giving that perspective and staying aware of any buying momentum. But again, the reason why I'm looking at a sell-off, guys, is because we've had this huge push to the upside, and we've not really had a strong correction apart from this level here, apart from this move, and it was only shortly lived. So we could see, I do believe we do have some strong potential of price to come in. I'm at least to the 50 fib, at least here. So 1.23 as a possibility to come in. We'll see exactly how price comes and tests reviews for the next trading week, of course. But you know, I want to see price come into a nice retracement of all of this level here. So again, I'll be watching out for any drops soon if we do find one. CAD JPY, again, my bias is to the downside. We managed to find that strong sell-off, and now it's giving me some good signs here. Now all we have to do is just wait for, you know, a good enough retest here, which we didn't find here. Hence why we didn't get into any opportunities there. But you know, nice 80.00, nice strong level here. Could be a nice respectable level if we can get that downside move and see if we can push lower. Of course, guys, if we do get a strong break to the upside, it would be somewhere on the lines of this level, so 80, 82. Retest and push higher. That is my only condition where I possibly could be looking out for any buys, but we'll of course we'll of course give you that update for you. NZDJPY. I left this on here just to show you the you know, the fib retracement call that we mentioned out for last week. So we pretty much said that we were looking for an either pull back into this retracement, and notice how it lined up perfectly with our our zone level here and the 618. So that's why, you know, the 618 does have a nice rejection point. So that could have been a very nice buying opportunity off this level here if you did catch that. But again, don't worry if you didn't, there's plenty more opportunities to go. So where the second option is to go from is a upside move here to the pullback and a push high, so roughly at 71.5. And again, you know, nice cycle level with a lot of rejections in the previous history. So again, just stay cautious of that. Another option, you know, we could be looking at is if price does manage to push lower, you know, could be looking something like this at 70. So, you know, two strong levels to think about here. So stay aware. AUDJPY, guys. I'm still looking at this as a bias to the upside. Still waiting for more momentum to kick in, but you know, I'm not going to be afraid of looking at any downside opportunities, but I'm going to be looking around 76.5 again, something like this. Again, the reason why I've got this zone here is, you know, multiple rejections, and again, guys, the reason why I'm not so adamant in one direction is because, you know, if your prediction's wrong, you're not going to be fixated on looking for another trading opportunity, if you know what I mean. So for example, if my bias was a sell, and you know, I can understand, I hope you can see where I'm going with this, but you know, if sell and you can only see sell, you're going to try and get into sells as many times as you can. But if you're not understanding that, you know, the market can go against your predictions, then you know, you're gonna fall out on any opposing opportunities. So guys, you know, try to be a bit fluid, be flowing with the market rather than guessing where things are gonna head, and you know, you'll find much more better trading success. That's in my opinion, guys. So I guess where I'm thinking. So again, guys, you know, pretty much an upside move. It's just really waiting for this momentum to kick into play. Retest of the structure, push higher, potentially into 79, and we'll see exactly where price heads into. Coming to the last two pairs, USDCHF, you know, we found that huge strong momentum which we were looking out for, and noticed that we found a lot of sell-off pressure. So you know, we could be seeing some steam kicking out here. So if we pull out the fib, let's see exactly where, you know, possibly at the 76, I believe, maybe even at 618. Yeah, 618 is hovering around. So if we put a zone or a level around here, the 618 fib could be a nice strong level where we could look out for some, you know, rejections, and then a possible higher push into 0.92, and we'll see exactly how this can push further. So you know, if this fails to continue higher and we see a break and close below, the second option would be to look at the next psychological level at 0.9, which is a very strong intimate point. You know, we can see how it's held and rejected multiple times. So we'll see exactly how price responds to it in the next trading week. Okay, looking at USDCAD, we can see this buy off momentum, but you know, we'll see how long we can see. We'll see how long this can last for. I'm looking at this uptrend here. We can see, you know, a nice setup possible if this happens, and target back into the lows to 1.3. If that doesn't happen, we can see price continuate and kick higher. Could be looking at 1.325 and pushes even further higher, guys. So again, keep eyes peeled for all of these setups. Again, I've gave you two options here, and they are conservative, guys. So again, these are trading setups that need to take time, and the development of these do require patience. So you need to stay aware of this, and again, make sure you're using proper risk management, of course. And again, this isn't a professional financial advice. You need to be doing your own research around this. Don't take my word for gospel. Of course, you know all that good stuff, really. So yeah, pretty much if you made it all the way to the end of this video, guys, make sure you are subscribed. We do have a trading group that you can join as well. That link is in the description below. We have a premium group as well. If you want to join that, feel free to message us on our Instagram, which is @KMTRADERS. We have a lot of good results coming through. So, we're picking up for the last quarter of the year. If you want to get involved, now will be a great time. Pretty much, let's see exactly how the next trading week goes. And again, if you do have any questions, feel free to message us on our Instagram, which is @KMTRADERS. And that will be all, guys. So thank you very much for listening, guys, and we see you all in the next one.